Parents of young children have enough to worry about. They shouldn't have to think about their children catching viruses that have been eradicated in the United States for decades, that have only recently come back due to parents refusing to vaccinate their kids. Vaccines are one of the greatest inventions of the last few centuries and have saved the lives of potentially millions of people. The problem is posed when parents choose to not vaccinate their children can affect not only their children but the entire population. Not getting children vaccinated risks the resurgence of diseases that have been eradicated and exposes us all to the possibility of new outbreaks and epidemics. So the resurgence of the anti-vaccination movement in the United States creates a danger to children as well as the general public, which is why parents need to have their children receive all required vaccinations. The growth in the anti-vaccination movement in the United States in recent years creates a risk for everyone, especially children, who are the most vulnerable. Many of the medical concerns of the last 100 years, like incredibly high infant mortality rate or widespread outbreaks of contagious diseases, have the potential to make a comeback as a direct result of the failure by parents to properly vaccinate their children. Another reason that children should receive vaccinations is the fact that most of the sources that promote a counter-argument to vaccinations are based on incorrect and potentially harmful information. In a study done by McMaster University, it was found that out of the websites in the top results for anti-vaccination searches, that 75% of these websites contained either discredited or wrong information, and 88% of these websites promoted alternative medicines or products to buy from the website. 75% of the websites also contain some form of conspiracy theory about vaccinations. Either the government or vaccination companies are trying to harm people or control them in some way. There are many different diseases that children can be exposed to during this very vulnerable time during their lives, when their immune system is still forming, which is why it is so important for children to receive the vaccinations that they are prescribed. The types of vaccinations that are given to children are monitored and tested especially carefully for possible side effects, due to how delicate children's immune systems are at this point. The effectiveness of vaccines has been proven countless times in many specific studies, including a study by the Vaccine Preventable Disease Table Working Group, where it was found that the number of cases of vaccine-preventable diseases has dropped by 92% since the beginning of the vaccination era, and deaths from vaccine-preventable diseases have dropped by 99%. If all children received the necessary vaccines, we would no longer have to worry about the possible resurgence of preventable diseases that could cause new outbreaks that affect us all. We would no longer have to worry about cases where a parent failed to vaccinate their child, and as a result, their entire class caught a new strain of whooping cough. Parents would no longer have to worry about their children in daycare fearing the possibility that one of the other parents decided they wouldn't vaccinate their child because they think vaccines are just a ploy by medical companies to make money, or they feel the vaccines just aren't natural. The concerns that people have had over the use of vaccines have been almost the same ever since the practice of vaccination first came into use, and no concrete evidence has ever been found that outweighs the benefits that come with the vaccinations. This is why children need to receive the proper vaccinations. Even those who don't have children can make a difference by convincing those who are in charge of children to get them vaccinated. There's a chance that someone who is skeptical about vaccines is more likely to listen to someone they know and trust rather than a doctor telling them what is best for their children, even though the doctor is obviously the greatest medical authority in this situation. By convincing others, you not only improve the health of the children involved, you also help to stop the spread of potentially deadly information. To reiterate the importance of vaccinations, they protect children from preventable diseases, and when children go without vaccines, it creates a risk of possible disease outbreaks to the rest of the population. It is beneficial for children to get vaccinated, and it is almost equally important to convince others that might be skeptical to get their children vaccinated as well. Vaccinations are one of the greatest inventions of medical history, and they should be taken advantage of.